Hi everybody, I'm Tom with illianasuburbanghostsociety, Society, and welcome to GhostTalk. Today's episode, we are coming to you from Bachelors Grove Cemetery. It's located in Cook County, Illinois, right outside of Midlothian at Midlothian Turnpike. It's very slippery out here today. Lots of snow on the ground, very wet. Place looks incredible. Looks basically the same as it did the last time I was here. So let me tell you a little bit about Bachelors Grove. It was established in the early 1840s. That's when the first settlers, documented settlers, came out from New England. They were English and German settlers. I was given a tour through here a while back, and they took me through over a creek in the back here, and they actually showed me foundations from the homes that were here. So you see not only the footprint of a home, but also there is a well. So it kind of tells you that it was established. I think there's 6 or 8 homes back there. The past's pretty rough, and I'm sure today it's pretty rough with all the melting snow and that kind of thing. But yeah, so that's one of the first burials here in Bachelors Grove. Was done in 1840. I believe it's documented. And we talk about Bachelors Grove being haunted. So the evidence that we have are stories from others, our older siblings as we're growing up, our friends and neighbors and that kind of thing. And that's how Bachelors Grove was born, was by the urban legend. So as a kid, when I was growing up, my first recollection of coming here, my first memory of coming here was with my sisters. And they actually took me here, and we parked down this road. So right now, the road is very narrow, and you can see very few remnants of asphalt that's left from the old road that came back here. But when I was a kid, we would drive down here and park on the side and then kind of walk in. Now, I was very young at the time, but I remember at least 50 cars. So there was cars on both sides of this road coming up, and I believe there was a turnaround right here to turn around and go back out. So I've spent a lot of time here. I grew up a couple miles away from here. I didn't really fear this place. I never did. As a young man, I never did. We used to take girls here and scare them because of all the urban legends that they heard. At times, I would feel things or hear things, but you're outdoors and it's surrounded by woods, miles of woods. So, but it never feared me. I was never afraid of it. But we talk about the birth of a legend, urban legend. And one of my first stories that I heard about Bachelors Grove was the Easter story. And that was a family was picnicking across the street at Rubio Woods. And one of the daughters wandered off and made her way over here, I guess. And she went missing, and they found her dead. So later I did research, and that's not true. It was just a urban legend. The other story that's really cool, that really stuck with me as a young man for quite a while was, again, I mentioned that the cars would come down here and park, so it was kind of like a lover's lane. So guys would take the girls here and they would, do their thing. So the urban legend was a couple came down here and parked, and they tried to start the car to leave and it wouldn't start. So the boyfriend left the girl in the car, locked all the doors, and said, "Hey, I'll be back. I'm going to go get some help." So he left. When she was sitting in the car, she heard, scratching on the the roof of the car, the top of the car, and she kept hearing it over and over and over again. And so finally, a cop car pulled up and escorted her out of the vehicle and told her, "Don't look up, don't look up." Well, she looked up, and she seen her boyfriend hanging upside down and his nails dragging on the hood of the car. So, for those of you that are familiar with that story, you probably live in some other state, thousands of miles away from here, and you've heard the same story about an area around your town. The same exact story. So, don't believe everything you hear. So let's talk about personal experiences. So when we talk about evidence, evidence that indicates that there's a haunting or there's something here, supernatural or paranormal at Bachelors Grove. Me personally, I had my first documented experience with the paranormal. It was here at Bachelors Grove. So I'm going to show you a video right now of that experience. And just to give you some backstory, this started out as a joke to scare my two nephews. And it worked, by the way. I mean, it worked as a joke, but I hadn't experienced that day. And as you can see early on in this shoot, I was filming, but not as an investigator. I was not an investigator, so I was filming, and you can see at the beginning of the film, me spin around really fast with the camera, and that was the experience I had. So when we talk about, evidence or personal experience, my first personal experience was here at Bachelors Grove at the beginning of this path. I figured I was in a safe area. I wasn't afraid of the place, like I mentioned earlier. I never been afraid of it. So I came here with the understanding that nothing was going to happen, and it was just going to be a big joke. So that memory has haunted me for many, many years. I constantly think about what actually happened to me. What did I actually experience? Could I explain it? So, one day I was thinking about these things and surfing the internet, and I decided to look at some local ghost hunting groups. And I found one that was looking for a cameraman. Now, I knew very little about running a camera, but I filled out the application. The next day, I received a response, and I actually met with a team the following day. They accepted me in the group and signed me up for an investigation at Sedamsville Rectory in Sedamsville, Ohio. So that was my first investigation. And I've been hooked ever since. I have seen and experienced some things at that investigation and other investigations that have convinced me that there's something there. And I'm trying to figure out what it is, why, what happens when we die, and just solid proof. of paranormal activity. And I believe that to be my goal. My goal is to be able to capture something that I could share with you so we all have a better understanding of what happens after we die. We take a very serious approach to what we do. It's not just showing up with some recorders and cameras and asking questions. It's very systematic. We have classes and training behind every single thing that we do. So we are prepared for most situations when we go into an investigation. So I'm sure you've seen on TV many episodes that have Bachelors growth. One of the most famous ones was an actual nighttime investigation. Now I've tried many times to get a nighttime investigation scheduled, but that's been unsuccessful. They basically just won't let you in here, I guess, unless you have some money, I guess. I don't know. Unless you're a big TV program, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I'd love to get in here at night. So today we are going to run a couple tests. We have a few pieces of equipment with us, a few devices. We are looking at some heavy rain going to move in on us. It might affect everything. But so stay tuned and check out some of the past videos that we've shot here. You'll be able to see some of the devices and some of the tests that we ran then and now. And thanks for joining us. So as I mentioned, I spent a lot of time here as a kid, and mainly just coming here to run around through the woods, to the cemetery, the lake. I fished in this lake, and I actually swam across it. Two of my buddies that were with me that day, they bet me $5 that I wouldn't swim across all the way to the other side. So I did. And I don't think I've ever seen that money. But one thing I do want to say is, you know, in the 20s and 30s, they mentioned that the mafia used to dump bodies in there. Again, probably urban legend. There's no evidence that indicates that. They've never found a body. There's no newspaper article or nothing that's been on the news saying they found a body in the pond at Bachelors Grove. So again, urban legend. Lady in White, or the Lady Madonna. Specifically a photo that was taken in, I believe, full spectrum, and it captures a woman sitting on this stone, and it's very famous. The photo's been, you know, reviewed by experts in photography all over the United States, probably the world, and it appears to be legitimate. But one of the interesting things about this stone is, you know, I've done some research on it and talked to the caretaker from here, and we both are in agreement that we think this is a stagecoach stone. So as you would pull up to the cemetery, you'd get out of the stagecoach or wagon and step onto this, and then down to the ground. It doesn't have any markings on it to be a headstone or anything like that, but yeah, so we think it is a stepping stone. a 360, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. It's a 360, right?
Mm-hmm.
So another childhood memory of mine was coming here one time and coming down this path toward the creek that's behind me here. And I remember standing right here on this asphalt as a little guy and, you know, looking at the little creek below and all the rocks and that kind of thing. My last time here, we were able to get a guided tour, and we actually went across the creek because it was really shallow. And that's where all the homes are. They're located back here, back over here. And again, they're a square foundation in the ground, marker in the ground, and a well next to it. We've had a big snow melt and a lot of rain, so we got a lot of water. So this is the unmarked grave that's outside the fence, as you can see over there, the fence and the cemetery over there, that the caretakers indicated to us that this is an unmarked grave of an African American. So I don't know if he or she was buried way over here because, you know, the other people were buried there. This place has always had a fence that I can recall. I don't know if it had a fence in the 1800s, probably not. I think the fence was put up later to keep people out. So I'm really not sure about that, but here's one of the stones. I had a crazy experience here myself that leads me to believe that there's more here than just what happened to me. And it makes me think about other people and what they've kind of experienced. You know, if I experienced what I experienced, what experiences have others truly had? But, you know, it's so, the paranormal world is so controversial, and you just don't know what to believe. And that's why a lot of people don't like to talk about their personal experiences, because people think you're crazy, that you're nuts, like, you know, you're making it up, or, you know, there's something wrong with you. This is Vic. You know, we're good guys. We're not here to disrespect you. We're not here to desecrate any stones or dig any graves or anything like that. We're simply here to communicate. If you want to come closer to me and let me know you're here by touching this device, I'd appreciate it. If you want to come and tell me your name, you say it in this device, I'll hear your name. That lets me know that you're here. one of the things that I talked about earlier was, the joke that I played on my nephews. This is one of my nephews. I came in from out of state. I was living out of state at the time, and my two nephews just begged me to take them here. They wanted to see what was going on at Bachelors Grove. And they knew that I spent time here and been here and that kind of thing, hung out when I was a kid. So I set it up with my brother to scare them. And
it worked.
Yeah. So what I did was I told them they had to pass an initiation. And that was, I would take them here, drop them off at the beginning of the path, and then they would walk in with baseball hats. They would walk all the way down the path, set the hats on the post of the gate of the fence, and then walk out. And then all of us would walk in together and get their hats. So in the meantime, I set it up for my brother to come in from the pond entrance along a path along the backside of the cemetery. And he came in, he rattled the fence, he was moaning, all the things that you do when you're, trying to scare somebody.
The visibility was pretty low. Not to mention our tensions were running pretty high. It was December 23rd, 1998. Fresh snow on the ground, about 11:30 at night. I was just getting out of work, and I got a call saying, "Hey, do you have any interest in coming?" And I was like, "Absolutely. We're hearing about it for so many years. Why not go with somebody who obviously knows the lay of the land?" And as he said, we came over, put our hats on the pole as instructed, and walked back. We couldn't run. But we're just trying to take it all in. All this build-up and all the stories you hear, and we're finally here. So we're trying to take it all in as we're walking down. Here's the fence. Oh my God, there's headstones everywhere. And we finally make it back to him, who's still at the entrance, filming the camcorder. And as soon as we get back up, he tells us that he had a brush of some kind. Something brushed his back, and at the time, me and my cousin are looking at each other thinking, all right, well, you're not going to get us. We're already here. Like, it's over. Come on. But sure enough, you look back at that footage that he showed you earlier, and it was true. Something did brush him. He was by himself. There was nobody around him.
The best way to describe it is, I felt like something went through me. I felt like it was coming behind me, and I guess my mind put the picture of something trying to grab me. And it felt like it went right through me. I don't know if it was the adrenaline of feeling, like something coming on you really fast, that reaction that you'll have to spin around and defend yourself. Something happened there, and I can't explain it, obviously, but something happened. I know something happened.
Everything leading up from that moment on, we took it as him attempting to mess with us. Because as we're walking down all together at this point, we're stopping every 10 feet. Did you hear that? What was this? Look up at that. And I can't speak for my other cousin, but in my mind, all I'm thinking is, why are we prolonging this? Let's just get there. I want to look around. I want to soak it all in. What he was actually doing was stalling so that his brother could get into position. Makes a lot of sense now.
He was hired to rattle the fence, moan and make noise, and take the hats. And that's what he did.
We later received those hats in Christmas presents the very next day. So, well done.
But ever since then, like I said, I have a new respect for this place. I know that there's something here. I know it. Let's do a spirit box session. the name of the headstone that I'm standing in front of? We believe we got a Fulton response. What is the name of the headstone that I'm standing in front of? What is the name of the headstone that I'm standing in front of? Like me being here? Hey. You don't like me being here? Hey. You don't like me being here? Is it okay if I ask questions? All right, then I'm going to continue asking them. If you follow me over here, you take the path in. This appears to be where a house was at one point. Oh, there it is. It's over there. Oh, there you go. So that is the house. That's the well.
That's a rough one.
There could be two wells. Yeah, but there's, I mean, you can see the two cement things here. But this one is like well, there's one there. Look at the bricks on the side of that one. Yeah, look. Come over and look at that. Tell me that's not a well.
Oh yeah, for sure it is.
Right? But what I'm talking about is a little cement square, straight square thing. that's what I was thinking. Those things. Yeah, that's probably what I was thinking about. I don't know what they are, but you know, you can see the house. Maybe they were posts to the front porch.
Yeah, a pillar or something.
Right? Does that make kind of sense? You can see the cement underneath that. Yeah, so what do you think, Ants? What are we standing in? Looks like a circle of cement, old cement blocks. And it looks like there's like a line around it, almost like it might have been like a silo.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's like a Bachelors Grove demonic Satan worshipping pit. I mean, I don't see any pentagrams. And hang on a minute. No, I don't feel any different.
No.
But it looks like it's probably like the foundation for
Of some sort.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
Somebody found it on the trail in the grass and turned it into the village, and then I ended up with it, and I didn't want it, so I reached out on Facebook and was able to contact the actual man that created the sign or made the sign, and I asked him what he wanted me to do with it, and he said that he didn't want it. I asked him if he wanted to give it back to him so he could put it back up. He said he didn't have time, so I said that I would do it. And that was a while ago. I've had the sign a while, but finally I put the sign back up. So there it is. Thanks for watching this episode of Ghost Talk from Bachelors Grove Cemetery.
Thanks for the support.
Don't forget to follow our links below. We're on Facebook and Twitter.
And click, like, subscribe.
We're out. We're out. Saved. Saved.
Ghosts are coming! Oh my god, DJ! Wham, wham, wham! Oh my god!